I declare the convocation open. I am deeply honored to welcome our distinguished chief guest, Honorable Shri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji, Minister of Education, Government of India. It is my privilege to welcome our esteemed guest of honor, Professor Pawan Kumar Singh Ji, Director, Indian Institute of Management, Tiruchirappalli, a distinguished professor and of management studies and an able administrator. I also extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed guest of honor at our regional centers.
सादर नमस्कार। माननीय अतिथि, गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर, विशिष्ट अतिथिगण, प्रधानाचार्यगण, कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, विश्वविद्यालय के सम्मानित पदाधिकारीगण, शिक्षकों, कर्मचारियों, अभिभावकों और हमारे प्रिय स्नातक और स्नातकोत्तर विद्यार्थियों, आप सभी का इस गौरवमय अवसर पर हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन। आज 5 मार्च 2025 को इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय के 38वें दीक्षांत समारोह में आप सभी का स्वागत करते हुए हमें अत्यंत हर्ष की अनुभूति हो रही है। यह दिन न केवल हमारे विद्यार्थियों के लिए बल्कि पूरे विश्वविद्यालय परिवार के लिए भी एक ऐतिहासिक अवसर है। दीक्षांत समारोह हमारे विद्यार्थियों के कठिन परिश्रम, समर्पण, उपलब्धियों का उत्सव है। यह अवसर हमें उनके भविष्य की सफलताओं का शुभारंभ करने का सुअवसर प्रदान करता है। हम अपने माननीय अतिथि महोदय प्रोफेसर रंजन चक्रवर्ती का विशेष रूप से स्वागत करते हैं, जिन्होंने अपने व्यस्त कार्यक्रम से समय निकालकर हमें अनुग्रहित किया है। साथ ही हमारे सभी विशिष्ट अतिथिगण, जिनकी उपस्थिति से यह कार्यक्रम और अधिक गरिमामय बन गया है, उनका भी हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं। हमारे दीक्षांत समारोह के इस शुभ अवसर पर सभागार के बाहर, दैट इज आउटसाइड द वेन्यू हॉल, एक विशेष प्रदर्शनी यानी एग्जीबिशन का आयोजन किया गया है। इस प्रदर्शनी में आरसी कोलकाता से जुड़े विभिन्न विभागों की उपलब्धियां, रचनात्मक कार्य, शैक्षणिक गतिविधियों को प्रदर्शित किया गया है। अब मैं माननीय अतिथि महोदय प्रोफेसर रंजन चक्रवर्ती, वरिष्ठ क्षेत्रीय निदेशक महोदया से विनम्र अनुरोध करता हूं कि कृपया फीता काटकर इस प्रदर्शनी का औपचारिक उद्घाटन करें और हमें कृतार्थ करें।
This is our activities, everything, all the activities that we have, and materials, our study materials, different programs that we have put in now. This is one of our videos, which is continuation of all the activities that we do. So it's a Kolkata Regional Center video.
ডক্টর রঞ্জন চক্রবর্তী, উপাচার্য, নেতাজি সুভাষ ওপেন ইউনিভার্সিটি। সঙ্গে রয়েছেন আমাদের ডিগনিটারিজ। পূত পবিত্র অগ্নি সাক্ষী করে আমাদের প্রজ্বলিত হচ্ছে মঙ্গল প্রদীপ। আপনারা সবাই দেখছেন।
Good afternoon. My dear learners, let me first express my deepest gratitude for the privilege of addressing this convocation. This is an amazing experience in your life, the first of its kind, and it is a great privilege that I hold today to be able to share this convocation with you. Namaskar, Namaste, Honorable Guest of Honor, Professor Ranjan Chakraborty, former Vice Chancellor, Netaji Subhash Open University, Kolkata, respected members of IGNOU fraternity who have gathered here from across 13 districts of West Bengal, former Regional Director of IGNOU, Kolkata Regional Center, principals of colleges who are currently hosting IGNOU Learner Support Centers, coordinators of IGNOU Learner Support Centers, counselors of IGNOU Learner Support Centers and Kolkata Regional Centers, invited principals and head of institutions who have gathered here on special invitation because we wanted you to be here, present in the joyous celebration, to be a part of this community, this fraternity, this endeavor of this great university, which seeks to provide education, democratize education, make education seamless, beyond age, gender, and any other categories that we can think of, region, language, nationality, IGNOU, the People's University. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion. There may be a little, I could see there was a little confusion in the felicitation, but I do apologize. But we are very, very happy that you are here today with us. I will tell you about the long plan that Kolkata Regional Center has in Bengal, which includes all of you together, so that we can walk hand in hand. So that will be part of my vision, which I'm going to share with you. But before that, I have to do the needful, so I'll move on with what I'm here today for. Honorable invited guests who are here with us, friends from media, and of course, my dear learners and recipients of degrees and gold medal, which will be awarded on this on the 30th Convocation today. I'd like to specially mention the special guests, the honorable special guests who are here with us. Professor Nandini Sahu, Professor Nimai Chandra Shah. The designations have already been mentioned, so I'm just making my formal gratitude to all of you for being here. Professor Devi Prasad Mishra, Dr. Shoma Ghosh, Professor Shubir Nag, Dr. Ashim Mondal, Shri Chanchal Kumar Singh, NIOS, I think he was here, but he's not here right now. Thank you very much for being here with us again. The special guests have been very meticulously thought of and invited today, because they have been continuously and supporting us in our endeavors, and we are very grateful for the kind of support and help that you have provided us so far. On behalf of IGNOU and its regional operations at Kolkata Regional Center, this is my proud privilege to welcome all of you on the occasion of this prestigious event, the 38th Convocation of Indira Gandhi National Open University. I'm extremely thankful to our guest of honor, Professor Ranjan Chakraborty, for gracing this occasion. His very presence has inspired all of us. I also express my sincere gratitude to the esteemed special guests, experts, heads of institutions who have joined us here as an expression of their support and solidarity of IGNOU's cause of service and its tremendous potential to revolutionize and democratize education in India. My dear learners, congratulations and well done. As I mentioned, I feel immensely proud to be part of this shining constellation of stars, as you have taken the first step to hold a beacon of light for millions others who will follow you. As a representative of the largest university in the world, I was discussing this with Professor Chakraborty just now, and I mentioned very proudly, yes, we are the largest university in the world. I hope you will reflect on your experience at IGNOU. And when you are reflecting on your experience, you will move away from the narrow perspective of a survivor's strategy for livelihood support. This degree is not just for livelihood support only. You have to look at this degree from a wider vision, being the creator himself, the creator's canvas, where you now become the nurturer for a million others who can now look up to you for shelter, for guidance, for support. Ladies and gentlemen, we are standing at the threshold of an overwhelming social change, which is driven by technology, and we cannot overestimate the need for transformation of education so that the hand that rocks the cradle of technology, the leaders of tomorrow, are both spiritually elevated as well as enlightened. We have, as educationists, we have a huge role to play here. So even though the address here would be towards my learners, but I'm also taking the opportunity to address this constellation of academicians and academics who are sitting here under the same roof today. We have a responsibility, and we need to recall our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, had already mentioned Swami Vivekananda, because how can we talk of anything related to education without first remembering him? Swami Vivekananda, the first Indian modern educationist, was inspired by his teachers, Ramakrishna Paramhansa and Ma Sharada. And he said that the purpose of education is to realize the divinity in oneself, which means to strive for the ultimate perfection in a man. For them, education surpassed narrow differences of age, religion, caste, gender, nationality, a seamless striving towards the universal man to create a humanity that was universal, borderless, inclusive, and boundless. Each one of these values are deeply embedded in the DNA of this great university. Values of universalism, values of democracy, values of inclusion, equity, reaching the unreached, which are today irreconcilable. Pragmatically too, COVID and pandemic proved to us that education needs to be flexible beyond classroom, beyond age, class and gender, borderless, beyond space and time. We realized during pandemic how much we needed an education system that was innovative, that was relevant, that was applicable, that was technology enabled, so that that technology could ensure seamless connectedness of humanity by exchange of knowledge. Open and distance learning, COVID taught us, was not just an alternative anymore, it was complementary. And as educationists as a whole, even though we may come from conventional education or we may come from open and distance learning, it is time we realized that conventional education cannot move forward or be effective unless and until it is complemented by the flexibility of open and distance learning or online learning, which is technology enabled. We have reached a point, an era of civilization where education has to be seen as a complementary, diverse, addressing multidisciplinary with flexible boundaries to be achieved. Keeping this transformation in mind, as you know, NEP 2020 moved forward, and in our address, convocation address, in the headquarter also, we have reiterated how much NEP 2020 and its innovative measures have been taken up in order to ensure transformation of education today. IGNOU is totally committed to NEP 2020 and especially to building the framework of education that is multidisciplinary, flexible, innovative, relevant, so that upholding our great civilizational values so that we can reach Viksit Bharat. Also from Bengal's perspective, standing witness to Bengal's great educational heritage, I appeal to each one of you who are here to once again join hands to revive Bengal's dynamism, its invaluable leadership role in energizing education as we have seen in Bengal Renaissance. We have specially invited esteemed college principals of West Bengal and other esteemed academicians, representatives from leading educational institutions from Government of West Bengal to support and collaborate with IGNOU so we can together create workable institutional networks to transform and support the framework of education, to address the challenge of digital divide, exclusion of social categories that has been happening so far, to address inequity, to address inaccessibility, to address imparting quality education, so that we can empower enlightened leaders who can appropriately steer the new society that is data-driven and technology-intensive.
The Honorable Chief Guest of the 38th Convocation of the Indira Gandhi National Open University, the Honorable Minister of Education, who is the Chief Guest, respected Vice Chancellor, IGNOU, Dr. Sujata Dotto Hajarika, the Senior Regional Director, IGNOU, Regional Center, Kolkata, all teachers, officials and staff of the Regional Center, the recipients of university degrees, diplomas, certificates, awards and medals, and our friends from the media, distinguished guests, vice chancellors, the vice chancellors of other universities, former vice chancellors, respected principals, all members of the convocation, my dear students, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am extremely honored by the invitation to address you on this august occasion. It is indeed a privilege to speak to you on the occasion of the convocation. The convocation is a very serious, formal thing. The recipients of certificates and medals should remain quiet. I found that many of you are not listening to Dr. Hajarika when she was speaking. A convocation should not be like this. It is a very serious business and very formal. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to deliver the convocation address at the Kolkata Regional Center of the Indira Gandhi National Open University. Today I wish to speak primarily to the recipients of the academic degrees and certificates on certain obligations devolving upon them from today. You are entering into a new phase of your lives. You have to take up new responsibilities in the future. I shall talk about how you handle your skill. You have received higher education, you have developed some expertise in a particular field, you have now the skill in many matters, and what would you do with this expertise? What can you do? How can you serve your nation and the wider world with the help of this education? I shall be primarily talking about this today, and I shall talk about an impending crisis. We are faced with a very serious crisis, the crisis of existence. We humans are existentialists, and today we are facing a crisis. The first part of my speech will talk about this, and in the second part, I shall briefly talk about the distance education, the ODL mode of education, about which your regional director has spoken a short while ago in detail. Let me begin by congratulating the students who are receiving their degrees and awards today. The convocation marks the fruition of your hard work and your transition from students to professionals, from scholars to scientists. The knowledge and skills that you have received and the values you have imbibed must be carried with the same spirit and zeal as has been done by your teachers. This has to be a lifelong commitment, and this is the only Guru Dakshina your teachers, mentors, and your alma mater would perhaps expect from you. Convocation represents an important day in the academic calendar of a university. In the United States, this event is called commencement. In the US universities, this ceremony is called commencement. and not convocation. It is called commencement because you are commencing your journey to translate your education for the benefit of the society. May each of you fully realize its potential to make our country and the world a better place for all of us. I wish all the degree recipients a successful career ahead. In this context, I wish to speak to the recipients of the academic degrees on certain obligations as citizens devolving upon them today. Your degrees carry with them the obligations of citizenship in the fullest sense of the term. When you consider yourself a citizen, do not consider yourself a citizen of India alone. You consider yourself as a citizen of the world. We are told that we are now entering into a new geological age, the Anthropocene. The humans have emerged as the most important geomorphological agent, and they now dominate Earth's climate, ecosystems, and geology in such a way so as to create an unprecedented planetary crisis. In this era of human-induced climate change, we may have to revise many of our fundamental assumptions and methodologies pursued in the study of various traditional academic disciplines. This is precisely why in recent times we are hearing so much about interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity. Our senior director of the regional center also mentioned this. Something is gradually changing our everyday consciousness, and a new awareness about the planet and its geobiological history is unfolding rapidly. The 20th century saw exponential growth in all spheres. The developed countries experienced the reconstruction after the Second World War, and the developing countries went through decolonization. The world population was 1.6 billion in the year 1900. It reached by the year 2000, it reached the 6 billion mark. Today the world population is roughly speaking 8.1 billion. The technology produced by the humans is extraordinary. The technosphere is proliferating at a remarkable speed. The technosphere is produced by the humans. What is the technosphere? The technosphere is comprised of the computers, the smartphones, the laptops, the entire space junk, and anything produced technologically by the humans. They are now amounting to 30 trillion tons. Remarkable. And 30 trillion tons, it means 50 kg per square meter if the entire surface of the earth, of the planet, is taken into consideration. Humans have to directly encounter the planet now. Martin Heidegger, the German philosopher, there's a lot of talking going on, I'm afraid. Please remain quiet. This is a convocation address, so remain quiet. Martin Heidegger, the German philosopher, introduced the word earth in a philosophical sense, and made a clear distinction between the earth and the planet in his lecture delivered in Berlin in the year 1936. This lecture was later published in his book titled The Origin of the Work of Art in Poetry, Language and Thought, published from New York in the year 1975. The planet, Heidegger said, the rocky, molten interior of the earth, is outside the philosophical thought. The study of planets should be left to the geologists and astronomers. To Heidegger, the planet cannot be considered as a humanistic category. The planet is different from the earth. We cannot place the planet in a meaningful conversation with the humans. The humans never engage themselves with the planet. The humans engage themselves philosophically only with the earth. So Heidegger made a clear distinction between the planet on the one hand and the earth on the other. The planet may occasionally surface in human discussions during earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, or tsunamis. Humans have empirically encountered the planet or the deep earth by including it in its mythological histories or images without incorporating it as a category in humanistic thought or philosophic understanding. Thus, Heidegger thought that the earth is completely separate in our thoughts from the planet. The planet is not the globe, not the world, and definitely not the earth. So the planet was not visible earlier, but today we are hearing so much about the planet. With the coming of Anthropocene and the imminent threat of climate change and global warming, humans are now face to face with the planet. We neglected the planet earlier, we left it to the geologists and the astronomers, but now humans have started taking the planet very seriously. The harder the humans explore the earth in their quest for profit and power, the more directly they encounter the planet now. The post-humanist scholars like Bruno Latour inspires the humans to think about the planet and include it in their historical thought. The emergence of a planetary humanities and a new interdisciplinary planetary history is now just a matter of time. Recorded history, those of you who studied history may know that recorded history refers very broadly to the 11,000 years or so that have passed since the invention of agriculture, but more usually to the last 4,000 years for which records exist. Historians of modernity and early modernity moved to the archives of the last 500 years. Without such knowledge of the deep history of humanity, it would be difficult to arrive at an understanding of what climate change means a crisis, why it means a crisis for humans. And there are areas, particularly in the context of West Bengal, which I want to bring to your kind notice, madam. You know, in West Bengal, there is a very good ODL university. It is a public state university, the Netaji Subhash Open University, which is in this neighborhood. And it can be a good opportunity for IGNOU, for the Kolkata Regional Center, to collaborate with NSOU and other colleges. Many of the colleges, you know, there are colleges about which I am aware of, you know, they run courses of NSOU as well as your esteemed university. There is no point of clash, you know. Education, there can be academic competition. Academic competition is always healthy, but when it comes to the preparation of study materials, the use of resources like the use of studio, laboratories, all the state universities and the open university like IGNOU, they can collaborate. Particularly you talked about the translation project. It would be a very good idea is joint collaborative effort can be undertaken with the help of NSOU. Both NSOU and IGNOU, they can share if your policy permits. I mean, if your administration allows you, we can share the resources. That will be beneficial for our students. I would like to congratulate the Senior Regional Director, Dr. Sujata Dotto Hajarika, under her dynamic leadership, and her excellent team is performing extremely well. Everything is managed very well, and congratulations for organizing this convocation, and everything seems to be fine at the Kolkata Regional Center. We should give a big hand to the director and her colleagues. With these few words, I once again congratulate the scholars and students of the university on this auspicious occasion as you enter a new chapter of your life. I wish you all success. Congratulations.
ইন্দিরা গান্ধী রাষ্ট্রীয় মুক্ত বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের ৩৮তম সমাবর্তন অনুষ্ঠানটি অনুষ্ঠিত হল আজ। মূল অনুষ্ঠান হয় দিল্লিতে। উপস্থিত ছিলেন কেন্দ্রীয় শিক্ষামন্ত্রী ধর্মেন্দ্র প্রধান। কলকাতায় আঞ্চলিক কেন্দ্রের পক্ষ থেকে সল্টলেকের NITTTR এ নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বসু অডিটোরিয়ামে সমাবর্তন অনুষ্ঠিত হল। আনুষ্ঠানিক ডিগ্রি এবং ডিপ্লোমা বিতরণ করা হয়।
ইন্দিরা গান্ধী রাষ্ট্রীয় মুক্ত বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় ৫ই মার্চ দেশের বিভিন্ন অঞ্চলে ৩৮তম সমাবর্তন অনুষ্ঠান উদযাপন করেছে। প্রধান অনুষ্ঠানটি দিল্লিতে অনুষ্ঠিত হয় এবং কলকাতায়ও একই অনুষ্ঠানের আয়োজন করা হয়। এই সমাবর্তনে শিক্ষামন্ত্রী শ্রী ধর্মেন্দ্র প্রধান উপস্থিত ছিলেন। কলকাতা আঞ্চলিক কেন্দ্রের অনুষ্ঠানে অধ্যাপক রঞ্জন চক্রবর্তী সমাবর্তনে ভাষণ দেন। অনুষ্ঠানে ৩ জন শিক্ষার্থী স্বর্ণ পদক লাভ করেন। আঞ্চলিক অধিকর্তা ডক্টর সুজাতা দত্ত হাজারিকা শিক্ষার্থীদের ডিগ্রি, ডিপ্লোমা এবং সার্টিফিকেট প্রদান করেন।
Huge role to play here. So even though the address here would be towards my learners, but I'm also taking the opportunity to address this constellation of academicians and academics who are sitting here under the same roof today. We have a responsibility and we need to recall. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam had already mentioned Swami Vivekananda, because how can we talk of anything related to education without first remembering him? Swami Vivekananda, the first Indian modern educationist, was inspired by his teachers, Ramakrishna Paramhansa and Ma Sharada. And he said that the purpose of education is to realize the divinity in oneself, which means to strive for the ultimate perfection in a man. For them, education surpassed narrow differences of age, religion, caste, gender, nationality, a seamless striving towards the universal man, to create a humanity that was universal, borderless, inclusive, and boundless. Each one of these values are deeply embedded in the DNA of this great university. Values of universalism, values of
everywhere. This quote succinctly sums up the ideas of access and equity, which are the cornerstones of IGNOU's philosophical foundation. I am honored to present the progress report of IGNOU at the 38th Convocation today. The report offers a concise summary of the university's achievements as well as its notable accomplishments in 2024-25. Towards achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat by 2047, IGNOU is committed to being a key player in the transforming the higher education landscape of the country by way of massively expanding higher education opportunities using a variety of technologies, making quality higher education accessible to all, integrating skills and vocation and nurturing innovation. The university has taken proactive measures to implement the provisions of NEP 2020 in its program development and delivery framework. Since the principles of access, equity, quality, affordability and flexibility have been integral to the IGNOU's teaching learning arrangement, it was relatively easy for us to make the transition. So far,
কলকাতা সল্টলেক থেকে তমাল তারুটুরুর রিপোর্ট, চেতনা বার্তা, জেগে থাকে জাগিয়ে রাখে।